Alright, OM617 with a broken glow plug. You can see the tip is broken off inside the pre-chamber, which you can't really see it in this with my camera, but it's down in there inside the pre-chamber. This locking collar right here, you need a special tool to get that out. Once you get that out, you got to pull the pre-chamber. The tool for the collar looks like this. It's a two-piece tool. This has the teeth on it to get into that collar. This secures it in place. Some people try to make their own one of these with a socket and grinding it off. However, it's under a lot of torque and it's very difficult to lock it in place. I got this tool off of eBay, and it's this is the part, what it's called, the part number, and I got mine from JTC Tools in Swanee, Georgia. I'll try and put a link to it below. So the first part of this is obviously setting the socket in place. Get it to where it locks in place, and then thread the locking insert onto it. Get it nice and snug. And then the outer is a 32mm socket. It'll go on there and unlock the collar. I should mention, to lock that tool down, you need a 20, let's see, this is a 24mm socket to lock the tool on top of the depth of the nut, and then obviously the 32. Take a tremendous amount of torque to break it free, and then there it is. Out she comes. Next part is going to be getting the pre-chamber out, which is another tool, and that will be coming up in the next section. Okay, to get the pre-chamber out, we need another special tool, and I picked up this one from Jeep Parts, and this tool threads into this hole right here, and then you're supposed to put a slide hammer in here and then slide hammer this thing out. So my slide hammer is very old, and I am certain that it is not going to thread onto there, which it is not. So my solution is going to be, I'm going to weld this bolt to the end of my slide hammer, and then put that into the end of this, and then slide hammer this thing out. You can use a bicycle tool, a park tool. It's essentially a crank remover, removes cranks from the old bottom brackets that aren't really used much anymore. They're the bolts that use or the bottom brackets that have the square taper bottom brackets. That tool works. You can use that apparently and modify that. I have one of those, however I still have some older bikes that use that, so I'm not going to sacrifice it. So it's time to bust out the welder and get this thing set up so I can crank this or yank this thing off. Okay, so you can see I've welded my slide hammer onto the tool, and now it's just a matter of slide hammering this thing off. You can see it's starting to come out. All right, now it's out, and you can see there's my pre-chamber and the tip's in there. Now I'm just going to fish it out. And there it is. Came right out of the hole right here. I was able to fish it out using my dental pick. Now I'm just going to clean this thing up and then tap it back in. And hopefully, being that I'm changing the glow plugs now, this won't happen again. My motor has over 250,000 miles on it, and I'm guessing it's been a long time since they were changed, which probably led to the demise of that plug. Okay, so the pre-chamber is all clean. There was a bunch of carbon deposits on it. Kind of makes me want to take the other ones out and clean them as well, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, so I'm not going to do it. So clean that up, and then on this, make sure that you use a new seal on this. You'll see there's an alignment groove right here that lines up with the tab on the pre-chamber. Obviously it helps you line up, make sure that you can't really screw it up. And then just a matter of lining it up and getting it set in place, and then I'm going to use the slide hammer in reverse and seat it, send it home. That should do it.